Mu'adim Simcha, Hagim Uzmanim Sason. I hope we're all having a beautiful and meaningful and inspiring Pesach. And we are now coming towards the second part of the Chag, the 7th and the 8th day, where of course we commemorate Kriyat Yam Suf, the splitting of the sea. And we know there are 12 princes, 12 Nasiim of the 12 tribes. And there is one prince, one Nasi, who we know more about than the others, whose name is more familiar, and that, of course, is Nachshon ben Aminadav leMatei Yehuda. And the reason he's more famous is because of what the Gemara tells us, the famous story that when the Bnei Israel were escaping from Egypt, 7 days later, they find the Egyptians on their tails behind them, and in front of them is the sea, on the sides is the desert, and they don't know what to do, the Bnei Israel. And so they turn to Moshe, and Moshe says, travel. And everyone is standing there by the sea. We don't want to be the first to jump into the sea. Nachshon, the Nasi of Yehuda, he sees what's happening and he jumps into the sea. The waters come higher and higher until Nachshon's neck, until the sea splits. And following Nachshon's lead, the Bnei Israel enter the sea and are all saved. Essentially, what the 7th day is commemorating is the courage of Nachshon ben Aminadav to literally and metaphorically take the plunge. The British author G.K. Chesterton once said, the paradox of courage is that a man must be a little careless of his life in order to keep it. Life without risks, life without courage isn't always a life worth living. Life can become boring when one doesn't want to rock the boat, when one wants to stay the same and not be willing to take a risk. But actually, the beauty of life is when we are willing to take risks. Of course, risks must be calculated, must be carefully planned. But without an element of uncertainty, nothing can be accomplished in life. There's no authentic life choice which is risk-free. And we know from history that the greatest accomplishments of mankind were achieved by the Nachshons of every generation. Those who were prepared to jump into the sea, to take huge risks, were responsible for magnificent discoveries throughout history and till today. And that's what we wish each other when we say to each other, Hazak u'Baruch, we respond, Hazak ve'ematz, be strong and be courageous. Taking those risks in life when there's uncertainty, that's what gives us the beauty of life, that's what makes life worth living. And of course, when a person takes a risk and is successful, he's called a wise person. When he takes a risk and ends up backfiring, it's called foolish and reckless. And it all depends on taking into account all the variables and deciding whether it's worth taking this risk or not. A risk is worth taking when there's a reasonable probability of it succeeding. We can be sure Nachshon had doubts whether he would succeed, but he realized, considering everything that had happened to the Bnei Israel, all the miracles they had seen, all the repeated statements of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he would bring Israel to Sinai and to Eretz Canaan, Nachshon felt that his decision to jump had a good chance of succeeding. And against expectations, he was right. And that's what Shevi'i Shel Pesach reminds us, the importance of being courageous. Hazak ve'ematz, tizku l'shem rabot, ne'imot v'tovot.